Welcome back to the Doorkickers player channel. This is mission 68, Longshore Drive Soap Company. This is the breakdown. If you want to see just the replays, go ahead and check out that playlist on my page. Now, in previous videos, I've had sort of a routine. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm just going to switch up the order. So first, we're going to watch a quick montage of all of my attempts of this mission on 100x speed. Then we're going to go into the breakdown and watch the successful attempt, talk about everything going on and the mistakes that were made, etc., anything that can be improved on, and general observations about the game and this mission. And then after that, we're going to watch the replay to see how it all worked out in real time. Is there anything else? Yeah, so the breakdown I'm going to play in 0.75 speed. Now, in real time, the successful attempt of this mission took me about 5 minutes. That's how long the successful attempt took. And we're going to watch it on 0.75 speed, but this kind of gives like a perspective on like 5 minutes of prepping and attempting and stuff. And it's all like, I think the mission is less than a minute. Yeah, the mission is a 45-second mission. Right. So it kind of like gives perspective. But yeah, all right, let's watch the quick montage and then get into the breakdown. All right, so this mission is just a mission where you have to take out all the tangos. Now, the missions where you have to take out all the tangos are a little difficult because you have to clear the entire building sometimes, and sometimes there are tangos in places where you don't expect them, which means that the operators have to walk more, which means it takes more time to get places. Also, especially with maps like these, there's lots of different places that the tangos could be hiding, or they could be a threat to the operators. And if you look at the map, so in the center of the map, there's this room, which is like a open kitchen, but it's got like a corner. But whichever way you approach it, your operators are getting exposed from the Charlie side of the center. And so you kind of have to like figure out how to balance moving through that area, which makes it pretty difficult. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. First, let's talk about what we already have. So we have 4 operators, and I don't know which weapons they're using, but I've mentioned in previous videos, you have to be fluid with your weapons. You got to try out new weapons, you got to figure out what works for you, and that's pretty much the only way you're going to succeed in this game. So what I've got now are 4 operators who are going to flow in separate directions. We've got operators 1 and 2 flowing directly towards the Charlie side, and operators 3 and 4 are going to move towards the Delta side and then join operators 1 and 2. So, and this is why this map is difficult, because the layout of this building is so tricky with so many different rooms that you can get lost, right? It's one of those buildings where your operators can sort of get lost, and you have to figure out, okay, well, how do we rejoin them as a team and use them in strategic positions, right? So this is one of the more difficult ones. That's what we've got so far. Let's go ahead and start watching the successful attempt.
Lock and load. Let's do this.
All right, so we're starting off by having all the operators move together, and I did that by having operator 4 open the door. And so now, well, we'll call them operator 1. And so now they're picking the locks, and picking the locks I've mentioned in previous videos, it helps making sure that the operators can move relatively silently
Holding. Holding. Moving.
without attracting too much attention. And this is actually some bad tactics. I have two operators moving into a hallway, and they're not flowing. They did a hook and a hook, right? So this is actually some bad tactics right here. But because of superior firepower, they were able to take out the tangos. And so this position right now is also tricky because you don't know if there might be a tango coming in from the delta side, threatening operator 2. So this whole situation was just so super tricky and difficult to deal with. As you can see, we've got four tangos facing operators 1 and 2. And in the meantime, operators 3 and 4 are clearing the delta side. But without superior firepower, operators 1 and 2 would have died so quickly. And again, I'm hooking, which is again bad tactics. I should have them flowing. But yeah, this situation was super poorly planned out, super poorly executed. I should have had them wait until operators 3 and 4 were able to join them and then move into that hallway so that they can take out the tangos at the same time. But I was also on a little bit of a time crunch. And as you can see, with superior firepower, it worked out, as well as with operators 3 and 4. You can see operator 3 hooking and facing a tango, which was a big mistake because he took out that tango so late. And again, he's entering that little closet without waiting for operator 4. And so now we're making another mistake. We're having operator 2 hook into that little closet while operator 1 is right in front of that doorway and could potentially get seriously injured here or fatally injured. You can see operator 1 is right in front of that doorway, right in the line of sight of any tangos that might be there.
I'm on it.
And you can see I've got a plan. Oh my god, this is very poorly executed. I'm having the operators hook again. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I'm really not sure why I'm doing this. This is very bad execution. Another thing I should have done here is just have operator 2 move within that Charlie side and let operator 4 deal with whatever threat might be at the end of that hallway. Same thing with operator 1. This is one big cluster bomb. Nothing was executed right. Absolutely nothing was executed right. And this just goes to show the power of superior firepower. It's like you can really get away with making so many mistakes if you have the proper weapons. And superior firepower doesn't mean stronger weapons, it just means using the right weapons for the right situations. Like, not everyone needs to have a rifle for home defense, but people who have big houses do need rifles because you're dealing with longer hallways, right? But if you live in an apartment, you don't need a rifle. Also, a rifle is a liability, that kind of thing, right? So superior firepower just means having better weapons and being better equipped. Now, for some reason, I am flowing in this situation, but I'm doing it completely wrong because I've got one room that I can hook into. That's because it's a corner fed room. But then the alpha side room is not a corner fed room, and so you need two operators. And if you're not using two operators, operator two should have hooked into that room instead of flowing into that room, because there could have been a tango on the Charlie Delta side of that room, Charlie Delta corner of that room,
I'm on.
that still hasn't been cleared, and he could have taken out operator two, which is a massive mistake.
On your mark. Roger.
And this is another mistake, because when operator one is going to hook into that room, and it's a corner fed room, so you can hook into that room, not a big deal. Problem is that he's exposing himself to that hallway
On it.
and whoever might be behind that hallway, because it's a
Okay.
diagonally shaped corner. He could be exposing himself, which is a big mistake. Someone else should have hooked into that room.
Wilco.
And then what I should have had is operator two go to the Bravo Charlie side of that hallway, and then flow while operator four goes and clears that room. A lot of mistakes were made. So many mistakes. This is the perfect example of almost everything you shouldn't be doing. However, the mission was successful. And the mission was only successful because the operators were trained, skilled at this point. I mean, this is mission 68, so, they've got some experience. And that was one of the reasons that this mission succeeded. Another one was because of the superior firepower, like I mentioned. If you have the right weapons for the right people in the right situation, there's pretty much nothing that you can't do. Right? So the way that this actually translates to real life is that essentially, if you just train and train and train and train and just be the best that you can be and gain as much experience, you know, training as you possibly can, you can do things wrong and it still works out. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, I was watching this clip of Benny Blanco, the music producer, and he was like, yeah, I didn't know how to use Pro Tools, so I had all of my music that he produced, like hit song after hit song, all was on 120 BPM because he just didn't know how to change it. Like that kind of thing, right? If you just get good at something and you're just really, really good, you can do it wrong and still, you know, still let it work out. Another thing is that I got super lucky because all the tangos were attracted by the noise, so they started engaging my operators, and I didn't have to clear the rest of the house, right? Because there was this whole like Alpha Bravo side that hadn't been cleared before the mission was over. So I also got super lucky in that aspect, that all the tangos sort of run or try to engage the operators. So there's a lot of things went right for me that could have ended up badly. If I had tried doing this mission the same exact way with new operators with zero experience and poor weapons, not using the right weapons, I would have I could have done this for 10 days straight and still not succeed. Right? So I got super lucky with this mission, and uh yeah, it could definitely have been done better. Um all that being said, let's go ahead and watch the replay.
Lock and load. Let's do this. Door unlock. Door unlock. Holding. Moving. They're here.
Did you hear that?
Look no tangos. Straight down. Tango down. Straight down. Tango down. No contact. Looks clear. On your mark.
Good job. We're done here.
All right, so that was Mission 68, Longshore Drive Soap Company. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more of these kinds of videos, make sure that you subscribe. And if there's anything that you guys want to see or hear about in these videos, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see y'all in the next video.